What if I told you that nearly 3 out of every 4 adults past the age of 60 are carrying around several pounds of old, undigested material just sitting inside their digestive tract right this very moment? Surprised, it is sitting there breaking down slowly and releasing harmful substances directly into your blood. Yet almost nobody is sharing this information with you openly. The correct type of oil can help push that accumulated material out of your body in less than 2 full days. Curious, we are not talking about weeks or months here. We are talking about a matter of days. Now picture this for a moment. You open your eyes tomorrow morning and your midsection feels completely flat. There is no puffiness, there is no discomfort, just a gentle, warm sensation deep in your core, as if your entire internal system is finally operating the way nature intended it to. I have carefully evaluated the top 5 oils and arranged them from least effective to most effective so that you understand precisely which ones deliver real results and which ones simply drain your wallet for nothing. The oil sitting at the very top of this ranking has been shown to boost fat removal by as much as 62%, and it does something remarkable to old trapped waste that no other substance can accomplish. Right at this moment, you might be dealing with pants that feel tighter than they should. You may be feeling heavy and drained after every single meal. You might be watching your stomach expand day after day regardless of what foods you choose to eat. But what if one straightforward oil could transform all of that completely? It is very likely already sitting somewhere in your kitchen cabinet right now, but you have been using it in entirely the wrong way. What I am about to reveal to you goes directly against nearly everything that mainstream dietary advice has been promoting for the past several decades. By the time you reach the end of this presentation, you will finally have a clear understanding of why your digestive system has remained blocked and your stomach has stayed inflated no matter how many different things you have tried. Let me describe what is actually taking place inside your digestive system at this very moment. Once you move past the age of 50, your digestive process slows down by roughly 40%. Bile is the natural dissolving agent your body produces to break apart dietary fat and push waste material through your intestinal tract. When bile production decreases, food simply does not move the way it should. It remains in place. It begins to decay. Your entire gut becomes sluggish. Your abdomen swells outward, and your body starts holding onto fat that it should be getting rid of entirely. This goes far beyond just that uncomfortable heavy sensation after eating a meal. When your bile output declines, everything begins to fall apart internally. Fat begins coating the interior walls of your intestines. Harmful substances start cycling back into your bloodstream. Widespread inflammation takes hold throughout your body. And what truly concerns me the most is something called lipopolysaccharides. These molecules begin seeping out of that decaying waste and entering your system directly. You cannot see them with your eyes. You cannot feel them moving through you, but they are absolutely present and they are increasing in number with every passing day. Your physician will likely suggest consuming more dietary fiber, drinking additional water, or adding a probiotic supplement to your routine. And certainly those measures provide some minor benefit, but they are only addressing the surface-level symptoms. They are completely failing to deal with the underlying cause, which is your body's declining ability to produce adequate bile. This decline is not something that must happen permanently. It can be turned around, but first you need to grasp the science behind it before we discuss the specific oils. Particular fatty acid compounds within these oils send direct signals to your liver, instructing it to release its stored bile into your intestinal tract. And when that bile rushes into your gut, waste material begins moving within a matter of hours. When this process activates, waste removal from your body can increase by 40 to 55% within a single 24-hour period. You notice the difference almost immediately. The swelling in your abdomen subsides. That heavy dragging sensation disappears. Your stomach feels genuinely flat for the first time in what may be years. And over the following weeks, the deeper healing processes begin taking effect. Your intestinal lining starts to mend itself. Inflammation levels decrease substantially. That dangerous leakage of toxins finally comes to a halt. I have devoted 6 full months to examining the published research on this subject matter. I have consulted with digestive health specialists and experts who study the gut microbiome. I have personally tested each of these oils myself, and now I am presenting my complete ranking of all 5 oils for you, beginning with those that produce the weakest effects. Oil number 5, black seed oil. Let us begin with the one that everybody has been led to believe is some kind of universal miracle solution. You have undoubtedly encountered the dramatic headlines claiming black seed oil resolves every health concern imaginable, ancient healing remedy, sacred oil, the solution to whatever troubles you. And truthfully, there is some legitimate basis behind the enthusiasm. Black seed oil contains a compound called thymoquinone, which possesses genuine antioxidant and inflammation-reducing properties. Published research confirms that it provides support for immune system function and helps combat oxidative damage within the body. It is certainly not a fraudulent product. But here is what almost nobody is willing to acknowledge publicly. When it comes to actively pushing fat out of your body and clearing accumulated digestive waste, black seed oil produces barely any measurable effect. Research published in a respected pharmacology journal found that it improved digestive function markers by merely 6% over an 8-week period. 6%. That level of change is not a transformation. That is barely maintenance level activity. The reason is straightforward. Black seed oil does not trigger bile production in any significant capacity. It offers protection to your gut lining. It helps calm inflammatory responses. But it simply does not activate the fat elimination mechanism that your body so desperately requires once you move past 50 years of age. It is essentially the same as applying a fresh layer of paint over a pipe that remains completely clogged on the inside. The pipe still does not function properly. Consider it this way: black seed oil keeps your gut from deteriorating further versus actually restoring it to proper working condition. That is an enormous distinction. And then there is the flavor issue. Black seed oil has an intensely bitter taste profile. The majority of people simply cannot handle consuming it in liquid form, so they purchase capsule versions instead. But the dosage contained in capsules is extremely small. You would need to take 8 to 10 capsules every single day just to match the amounts used in clinical research studies. That adds up to $15 to $20 per week, merely to sustain baseline digestive function. If you choose to incorporate it into your routine anyway, consume it alongside food. 1 small spoonful in the morning, taken with your first meal of the day. The fat content in your food improves absorption and helps mask some of that strong, bitter taste. Some individuals blend it into raw honey, which also helps considerably. But do not anticipate dramatic changes. Black seed oil will not clear out the accumulated waste material stored in your digestive tract. It will not restart your bile production cycle. It will not reduce the swelling in your bloated midsection. You would use it for general ongoing gut maintenance, not for correcting the fundamental underlying problem. My rating is 2 out of 10. It serves a purpose, but it is far from sufficient on its own. Oil number 4, flaxseed oil. Now we begin moving into more effective territory. Almost nobody discusses this particular oil anymore. Flaxseed oil gained widespread popularity during the 1990s, then the public collectively forgot about it as more glamorous alternatives appeared on the market. That was a significant oversight because this product is severely underappreciated for its digestive cleansing capabilities. Your intestinal lining serves as a protective wall. When that wall is in good condition, it keeps waste material and harmful substances exactly where they belong, which is moving steadily out of your body. When that wall becomes compromised, everything begins leaking through into places it should never reach. Your bile cannot perform its intended function because the entire surface it works upon has been damaged. Flaxseed oil actively repairs that surface. Research published in a leading gastroenterology journal demonstrated that flaxseed oil decreased intestinal inflammation by 34% and meaningfully improved the protective barrier function of the gut within just 3 weeks of consistent use. And the effects manifest quickly. People commonly report reduced abdominal puffiness within 72 hours. The cramping sensations stop. That persistent gurgling sound emanating from your stomach gradually fades away. Why does it produce these results? Flaxseed oil is the most concentrated plant-based source of alpha-linolenic acid available anywhere. Your body transforms this compound into substances that directly heal damaged and inflamed gut tissue. It also provides a lubricating effect along your intestinal walls, which helps old trapped waste material glide through smoothly instead of adhering to the walls and continuing to ferment. The cost is remarkably low. A high-quality bottle can be purchased for approximately $8 and will last about 3 weeks of daily use. That works out to less than 40 cents per day for legitimate digestive system restoration. The recommended approach is 1 tablespoon every morning consumed before eating anything else. Never use it for cooking, as heat exposure destroys the fragile omega-3 fatty acid content. Drizzle it over salad greens, blend it into a smoothie, or simply consume it directly from the spoon. It has a mild, nutty flavor that most people find perfectly acceptable. One important consideration is that flaxseed oil can produce a slight blood-thinning effect. If you are currently taking blood-thinning medications, have a conversation with your healthcare provider before introducing this oil into your daily routine. The interaction is not typically dangerous for most individuals, but it warrants discussion if you are on prescribed medication. The sole reason flaxseed oil does not rank higher on this list is that its primary strengths lie in healing tissue and providing lubrication rather than aggressively stimulating bile release. It essentially prepares your digestive tract to expel waste, but it does not directly force that expulsion to occur. Nevertheless, considering its minimal cost and the speed at which results become apparent, this is a genuinely valuable product that the vast majority of people completely overlook. My rating is 8 out of 10, effective, affordable, and fast-acting. Oil number 3, MCT oil. This next entry generates considerable debate. MCT oil surged in popularity roughly a decade ago. Followers of ketogenic eating patterns praised it enthusiastically. Health optimization enthusiasts began adding it to their morning beverages. And truthfully, the majority of the claims being made at that time were wildly overstated. However, when it comes to actively pushing fat out of your body and clearing accumulated digestive waste, this oil delivers legitimate, measurable results. MCT oil operates differently from every single other oil discussed in this ranking. Most dietary fats you consume require hours to fully digest. They travel through your stomach, wait for bile to arrive, get broken down gradually, and eventually absorb through your intestinal walls over an extended period. MCT oil bypasses nearly all of those steps entirely. MCT is an abbreviation for medium-chain triglycerides. These are fat molecules with shorter structural chains that skip the conventional digestive pathway altogether. They travel directly from your gut to your liver within minutes of consumption. And when they arrive at your liver, something remarkably powerful occurs. Your liver responds to this sudden influx of fat by dramatically increasing bile production with immediate effect. It functions like an emergency alert signal. Fat has arrived. Deploy bile immediately. That sudden surge of bile rushes into your intestinal tract and begins dissolving old compacted waste that has been lodged there potentially for months on end. The fat your body was previously unable to process suddenly breaks apart and begins moving through your system. Published nutrition research demonstrated that MCT oil boosted fat oxidation, which represents your body's capacity to burn and remove fat, by 37% when compared against other dietary oils. Study participants observed noticeable effects within days rather than requiring weeks of waiting. Professional athletes have utilized this approach for years to maintain lean body composition. Now you understand the reasoning behind it. The proper approach to using it requires starting at a modest level. Begin with 1 small spoonful per day during your first week of use. MCT oil operates so rapidly that consuming an excessive amount too early in the process can trigger urgent digestive responses. Your system is simply not accustomed to that volume of sudden bile release happening all at once. After completing 1 full week at the lower amount, you can gradually increase to 1 full tablespoon daily. Morning consumption tends to produce the best outcomes. Add it to your coffee or blend it into a smoothie preparation. It has virtually no discernible taste. When purchasing, ensure you select pure isolated MCT oil rather than standard coconut oil that has been marketed under the MCT label. Genuine MCT oil has been extracted and concentrated through processing. The product label should specifically indicate C8 or C10, which refers to caprylic acid or capric acid, respectively. Those are the specific compounds you are looking for. The adjustment period can be somewhat uncomfortable if you exceed the recommended starting amount, but if you are genuinely committed to forcing your body to eliminate stored fat and digestive waste, you will manage through that brief transitional phase. My rating is 8.5 out of 10. Exceptionally effective, but requires careful attention to dosage. Oil number 2, coconut oil. Coconut oil represents the most concentrated natural source of lauric acid found anywhere on Earth. When measured against any other cooking oil available, it dramatically outperforms them all in terms of digestive cleansing capability. What gives lauric acid its distinctive effectiveness? When it reaches your intestinal tract, it does not simply remain passive, waiting for the digestive process to act upon it. It actively works to dissolve and break apart the biofilm layer that coats old accumulated waste and enables it to adhere stubbornly to your intestinal walls. Biofilm is essentially a protective barrier that harmful bacteria construct around themselves and the waste they inhabit. This is precisely why stuck waste refuses to budge regardless of how much dietary fiber you consume. Lauric acid dissolves that protective barrier. Published research in a respected food science journal found that coconut oil enhanced gut motility, which refers to the speed at which waste travels through your digestive system, by 43%. Research participants additionally showed a 41% decrease in populations of harmful gut bacteria within a 30-day period. When you consume coconut oil using the correct method, you are essentially creating a comprehensive digestive cleansing system within your own body. The recommended approach involves taking 2 tablespoons of virgin coconut oil in its melted liquid form as the very first thing you consume each morning on a completely empty stomach. Do not eat anything else for at least 30 minutes afterward. This interval gives the lauric acid adequate time to thoroughly coat your intestinal walls and begin breaking down biofilm before any food arrives to compete for digestive attention. Consume it immediately after melting, as the beneficial compounds reach their peak potency when freshly prepared. Do not use it for cooking when employing it for this specific purpose, because elevated temperatures alter the molecular fat structure and reduce effectiveness. Within approximately 1 week of consistent use, people commonly report that their bowel movements feel more complete, with noticeably less straining and significantly less of that frustrating sensation that something remains stuck inside. Within 1 full month, visible reductions in abdominal bloating become apparent. Clothing fits noticeably differently around the waist and midsection. The only factor preventing coconut oil from claiming the top position in this ranking is the challenge of obtaining the truly raw, unprocessed version. The majority of coconut oil sold in standard grocery stores has been refined, bleached, and deodorized during manufacturing. Those industrial processes remove a meaningful portion of the lauric acid content. What you specifically require is virgin cold-pressed coconut oil. This variety costs somewhat more and necessitates careful examination of product labels. Not every consumer wants to invest that effort in locating the correct product. It demands genuine commitment to the process. But if you dedicate yourself to sourcing high-quality coconut oil and consuming it on a daily basis, it outperforms the majority of expensive digestive health supplements available on the market today. My rating is 9 out of 10. Exceptionally powerful, but requires attention to product quality and sourcing. Oil number 1, extra virgin olive oil. This is the ultimate solution on this entire list. The very same oil your grandmother relied upon in her kitchen, the oil that Mediterranean civilizations have been consuming consistently for 3,000 years of recorded history, the oil that contemporary scientific investigation continues to validate as superior to every available alternative. Extra virgin olive oil delivers the highest concentration of oleic acid found in any widely accessible oil product. A single tablespoon provides approximately 10 grams of this particular monounsaturated fat, and your body converts oleic acid into bile-stimulating chemical signals with remarkable efficiency. But what truly distinguishes extra virgin olive oil from every competitor is this critical difference. It does not merely initiate a burst of bile release and then stop. It sustains that bile flow continuously. Other oils produce a brief spike of activity followed by nothing further. Olive oil generates a steady, prolonged stream of bile that continues working actively for hours after consumption. Your digestive tract receives continuous, ongoing cleansing rather than one brief, ineffective flush. Bile output increases by 52 to 70% within 2 hours of consuming extra virgin olive oil. Researchers have documented this using ultrasound imaging technology. They can literally observe your gallbladder contracting and releasing its contents in real time on screen. A groundbreaking study published in a prestigious European clinical nutrition journal followed adults over the age of 55 who consumed 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil every day for a 12-week period. The documented outcomes were remarkable. The speed at which waste traveled through their digestive system improved by 48%. Material moved through significantly faster. The diversity of beneficial bacteria in their gut microbiome increased by 31%. Measurable markers of inflammation throughout their bodies decreased by 27%, and self-reported experiences of abdominal bloating declined by 53%. That final figure has the potential to genuinely transform your daily experience. 53% less bloating translates to clothing fitting comfortably around your waist once again. It means no longer feeling miserable and distended after every single meal. It means your stomach actually appears flat when you look in the mirror each morning. People frequently describe a sensation of warmth spreading gently through their abdominal area within just hours of their initial dose. That persistent, heavy, congested feeling lifts within the first few days of use. And after 3 to 4 weeks of consistent daily consumption, the transformation becomes absolutely undeniable to everyone around you. The protocol is straightforward: 2 tablespoons consumed every morning on a completely empty stomach. That is the entire method. Purchase olive oil packaged in dark-colored glass bottles to protect it from light degradation. Look specifically for harvest dates printed on the label rather than only checking expiration dates. Authentic extra virgin olive oil typically costs approximately $12 for a bottle that will last an entire month of daily use. That works out to roughly 60 cents per day for what is arguably the most potent natural digestive cleansing tool in existence. My rating is a perfect 10 out of 10. Now allow me to explain precisely how to use this oil for maximum benefit. Consume 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil each morning before eating anything else. This detail is critically important. An empty stomach means no food consumption for a minimum of 8 hours prior. Your body absorbs the oleic acid content more rapidly and triggers the greatest possible bile release when there is absolutely nothing else competing for digestive attention at the same time. Purchase only the cold-pressed extra virgin variety packaged in dark glass containers. No blended products, no light versions, just pure, unadulterated olive oil with nothing else added. Most standard grocery stores now carry quality brands priced between $12 and $18 per bottle. That represents a full 30 days of comprehensive digestive cleansing capability for less than 60 cents per daily serving. The flavor profile is rich and subtly peppery. Some individuals genuinely enjoy the taste while others simply accept it because the results it produces are so impressively dramatic. One important note is that some individuals may experience looser than normal stools during the initial few days of use. Do not be alarmed by this. It is entirely harmless and expected. This response is known as a bile flush reaction, and it occurs in approximately 20% of people who begin this protocol. An additional precaution to be aware of is that olive oil actively stimulates gallbladder contraction. If you have any documented history of gallstones or gallbladder disease, you should consult with your physician before beginning this regimen. However, for the vast majority of individuals over the age of 50 who are dealing with persistent abdominal fat and accumulated digestive waste, extra virgin olive oil represents the single most effective natural solution available for consumption. My rating remains a perfect 10 out of 10. Maximum effectiveness with proven, documented results at an affordable price point. Now, let me outline exactly how to put this complete system into practice in your daily life. Begin with extra virgin olive oil consumed every single morning, 2 tablespoons on an empty stomach. This serves as your foundational daily practice. During the afternoon hours, consider adding either flaxseed oil or MCT oil if you wish to speed up your progress. 1 tablespoon taken alongside your midday meal works exceptionally well. If you desire the absolute maximum possible impact, rotate coconut oil into your routine 3 to 4 times each week. Consume it on alternating mornings as a substitute for your olive oil on those particular days. Here is the general timeline you can expect to experience. Within approximately 3 days, you will begin to feel noticeably lighter throughout your body. That persistent swollen sensation in your midsection starts to diminish. After 1 complete week, your bowel movements become more thorough and more predictable in their regularity. At the 2-week mark, you will begin noticing that your clothing fits differently, particularly around your waist. Your overall energy levels improve meaningfully. But consistency in following this routine is absolutely everything. You cannot consume olive oil for 3 days and then expect the results to become permanent. This must become an established daily habit integrated into your life with the same automatic regularity as brushing your teeth each morning or taking any prescribed medications you rely upon. The fundamental difference with this approach is that it genuinely produces measurable results and costs approximately $15 per month to maintain. Compare that against prescription digestive medications that frequently cost hundreds of dollars and arrive accompanied by lists of potential adverse effects that are longer than your entire arm. There are several critical mistakes you must avoid making during this process. First, never consume your oil alongside a heavy meal. You require an empty stomach to achieve maximum bile stimulation from the oil. Wait a minimum of 30 minutes before eating your morning meal. Second, do not take fiber supplements at the same time as your oil. Fiber has the capacity to absorb the oil and significantly diminish its effectiveness. Maintain a separation of at least 2 hours between consuming your oil and taking any fiber products. Third, do not expect miraculous results to appear literally overnight. Fourth, never discontinue any medications prescribed by your doctor without having a direct conversation with them first. These oils provide meaningful support for digestive wellness, but you still require proper medical oversight for any significant changes to your health management approach. And finally, never purchase the refined, processed, or blended versions of any of these oils. Purity is everything in determining effectiveness. Read every product label carefully before purchasing. Avoid any product that describes itself as light pure or blended on its packaging. Specifically, look for the terms extra virgin and cold pressed on the label. What this entire discussion ultimately comes down to is remarkably simple. Your body possesses an innate desire and capacity to heal itself. Your digestive system wants desperately to function properly once again, but it requires the correct raw materials to make that restoration possible. For multiple decades, you have been repeatedly told that declining digestive function is simply an unavoidable consequence of growing older. These specific oils deliver concentrated amounts of the precise compounds your liver requires to resume adequate bile production. The oleic acid from olive oil, the lauric acid from coconut oil, the medium-chain triglycerides that essentially force your entire digestive system back into proper working order. You are not fighting against the aging process itself. You are correcting a nutritional deficiency that modern processed food diets have systematically created over recent decades. Our generation does not follow that pattern any longer. We consume industrially processed vegetable oils that have been systematically stripped of these essential beneficial compounds. We actively avoided dietary fat for years because authoritative voices told us it was dangerous to our health. And then we find ourselves puzzled and frustrated when our digestive systems begin failing after we reach the age of 50. This approach works because it is grounded in established biological science. The measurable results are genuine and reproducible, but you must actually follow through with the daily practice to experience them. Your digestive system will not repair itself through wishful thinking alone. These oils represent your practical everyday solution. Begin tomorrow morning with 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil consumed on an empty stomach. Maintain that practice faithfully for 30 consecutive days. Your digestive system will reward you for it. Your daily energy will reflect the improvement. Your ability to live actively and independently will benefit enormously from the change. Let us begin correcting this situation starting first thing tomorrow morning.